The 18th of July 2012 Damascus bombing refers to the bombing of the National Security Headquarters in Rawda Square, Damascus, killing and injuring a number of top military and security officials of Bashar al-Assad's government. Among the dead were the Syrian Defense Minister and Deputy Defense Minister. The incident occurred during the Syrian Civil War, and is considered to be one of the most notorious events to affect the conflict. Syrian public-owned television reported that it was a suicide attack, while the opposition claims it was a remotely detonated bombing. The attack, during a meeting of ministers and a number of heads of security agencies, resulted in the death of the Syrian Defense Minister General.The. Also killed were Asef Shawkat, President Bashar al-Assad's brother-in-law and Deputy Defense Minister, the assistant to the Vice President General Hassan Turkmani, and Hafez Makhlouf, head of investigations at the Syrian intelligence agency. However, Hafez Makhlouf was also reported to be wounded. The country's intelligence and national security chief Hisham Iqtia was seriously wounded. There were conflicting reports on the fate of the Interior Minister Mohammed al-Shah, with initial accounts stating that he had also been killed, but later state TV reported that he survived although wounded. Additional reports stated that he was in stable condition. Al-Shah was reported dead later, according to Al Jazeera. Mohammed Saeed Bekaitan, the national secretary of the Ba'ath party, was also wounded in the bombing. Press TV provided a conflicting report indicating that Hisham Iqtia had died in the bombing and that Mohammed al-Shah had been wounded. On the 20th of July 2012, the death of Hisham Iqtia was confirmed by Syrian authorities. Victims: General Asef Shawkat, President Bashar al-Assad's brother-in-law and Deputy Defense Minister, confirmed dead. General.The, Defense Minister, confirmed dead. General Hassan Turkmani, assistant to the Vice President Farouk al-Sharar and former Defense Minister, confirmed dead. General Hisham Iqtia, Director of the National Security Bureau, confirmed dead. General al-Assad, President Bashar al-Assad's younger brother and the commander of the Republican Guard, wounded. Reports of him losing a leg. Colonel Hafez Makhlouf, President Bashar al-Assad's cousin and head of investigations at the General Security Directorate, wounded. General Mohammed al-Shah, Interior Minister, wounded. General Mohammed Saeed Bekaitan, Assistant National Secretary of the Ba'ath party and former Chief of the National Security Bureau, wounded. Perpetrators: the bomber was reportedly a bodyguard of one of the meeting's attendants. The opposition meanwhile claimed that the cause of the explosion was not a suicide bomber, but that a rebel insider planted bombs inside the building and detonated it remotely from a distant location. The Islamist Liwa al-Islam and the Free Syrian Army both claimed responsibility for the bombing. Liwa al-Muqdad, the Free Syrian Army's logistical coordinator, claimed that the attack was perpetrated by a group of Free Syrian Army members in coordination with drivers and bodyguards working for Assad's high-ranking officials. It was further stated that the two explosive devices, one made of 25 pounds of TNT and the other a smaller C4 plastic explosive device, had been put in the room days before the meeting by a person working for Hisham Iqtia. Reaction: domestic. Although there were no statements from President Assad himself, Syrian TV said after the attack that a decree from him named Gen. Jassem al-Fraj, who used to be the army chief of staff, as the new defense minister. Syrian state television said foreign-backed terrorists had carried out the attack. The country's armed forces said in a statement that Syria was determined to confront all forms of terrorism and chop off any hand that harms national security. On the 19th of July 2012, Syrian state television broadcast images of President Assad at the presidential palace in Damascus, cutting short speculation fueled by his silence following the attack against his inner circle the previous day. In the images broadcast by the television, Assad was seen in blue suit receiving the new defense minister, Fardj al-Faraj, after the swearing ceremony. According to Israeli newspaper Haaretz, the state TV announcement appeared aimed at sending the message that Assad is alive, well and still firmly in charge. It said Assad wished the new defense minister good luck, but it did not say where the swearing-in took place, nor did it show any photos or video of the ceremony, as it usually would. International Iran. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs condemned the bombing, adding that the only way of resolving the current crisis in Syria is through talks. Iranian ambassador claimed that the bombing had been a work of foreign intelligence agencies and ruled out the possibility of FSA being able to carry out such operation. Israel Defense Minister Ehud Barak urgently summoned intelligence and security officials to discuss possible implications of the rapidly deteriorating situation in Syria. They included Chief of the General Staff of the IDF-LT, Gen. Benny Gantz, and heads of the Northern Command, Military Intelligence Department, the Planning Directorate, and the various IDF branches. Jordan King Abdullah II stated that this assassination of members of Assad's inner circle is a tremendous blow to the regime. Lebanese Foreign Minister Adnan Mansour condemned the Damascus bombing. Russia Foreign Ministry spokesman Alexander Lukashevich said in a statement, Moscow strongly condemns terrorism in all of its forms and manifestations. We hope that the organizers of the Damascus terrorist act will be found and punished. Press Secretary of Russian President Vladimir Putin, Dmitry Peskov, said, as a whole the existing exchange of opinions shows that the appraisals of the situation in Syria and final goals of regulating for both sides coincide. South Africa strongly condemned the attack and stated that it is opposed to all forms of terrorism and violence. Turkey Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan reacted negatively to Syria's explanation of the event. United Kingdom Prime Minister David Cameron said that Assad should step down and added, "It is time for the United Nations Security Council to pass clear and tough messages about sanctions. I believe under Chapter 7 of the UN, and be unambiguous about it." Foreign Secretary William Hague said that the incident, which we condemn, confirms the urgent need for a Chapter 7 resolution of the UN Security Council on Syria. United States Defense Secretary Leon Panetta said that the country was rapidly spinning out of control, adding that the international community must bring maximum pressure on Assad to do what's right, to step down and to allow for that peaceful transition. Venezuela The Foreign Ministry condemned the bombing in Damascus and urged foreign powers against military intervention. United Nations UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has strongly condemned the attack and reminded that acts of violence committed by any party are unacceptable and a clear violation of the Six-Point Plan.